Welcome to one of the next interviews that we conduct during our Digital Free Market Roadshow. My name is Barbara Kolm. I'm the founder and the director of the Austrian Economics Center and the Free Market Roadshow. And today my guest is Gia Jandieri from Georgia, an old friend, a longtime friend. Actually, I have to say, he is one of the directors of the New Economic School of Georgia and has been involved in the entire free market business and world, I think, for more than 25 years at least. And we have been working together in the past 20 years on various fronts. And also, of course, on the Free Market Roadshow. But why we have a digital roadshow for the first time now, I mean, not that we will not come and visit Georgia and have our very successful, usually very successful event in Tbilisi later this year. We now would like to discuss what is happening at the Corona front in Georgia, and what are your partners and friends, and what is the government doing. But before I give the word to Gia, I would also like to mention that there is other libertarian and other actually digital free market roadshows coming up. Later today at 4:30 p.m. Vienna time, we will conduct our free market roadshow Rome event with the topic how to support innovation in times of massive disruption. Our speakers will be John Chisholm, Agnieszka Polska, and Pietro Paganini will of course moderate again. The next free market roadshow, digital one, will be held in Zurich right after Easter, April 15th, again at 4:30. This will be a German one, and we will discuss economics post-corona, strategic discussions, and what shall we do in order to become more, to go back on track again. And our guests will be Prince Michael of Liechtenstein, Marco Weber, our local host, and I will be speaking as well. And the next event, so just for the next couple of days that you won't get bored, is the Free Market Roadshow Rome again on April 16th at 2 p.m. And here we will discuss the effects on Europe on possible major economic crisis in the US. And our speakers will be Enrique Schneider from Switzerland, Michael Jäger from Germany, Pietro Paganini will moderate again. So now, without further ado, I would really like to go back to Gia and ask him first, what has your government done right during this difficult times and this period of crisis?
Hello, thank you very much. I think that there were some good steps along with some wrong steps. Wrong, I mean that failures to answer to some important things in time. So it happens everywhere because, first of all, we are having business with government and there is no such a thing like efficient and good government anywhere. But on the other hand, the coronavirus, this type of virus was so unknown that I think that to blame anybody in here, you can feel some kind of bad feelings also, that you are blaming somebody in something you don't know yourself. If we start from the beginning, of course, I'm also in the row of those people who are blaming the UN and WHO and the Chinese government for very delayed information and so many other things. I'm always saying that first of all, we need to always think about what are the communist governments. For instance, Chinese government, I believe, and I was advocating this for many years, and that you cannot trust the communists. But that is what we have now. That Georgia's first infected was somewhere one and a half month ago. So we were having our seminar in the mountains, and when I heard that we could have infected in Georgia as well, I said there would be a panic in Georgia. It happened immediately next day that we had a panic. But I was not really blaming anybody in this panic, and I said several times that this panic was even very important to raise the attention of the important people, including of the government, and including of the people who started quickly buying something from shops and to make sure that they don't need to go to the streets every day, etc. But in reality, if we ask, if anybody asks me who was the major player in having a good attention to this coronavirus, I would say our free media, not the
Sorry,
media,
what's your
free media.
okay?
Yeah, because not the government made the media and not the government officers and not even the healthcare people were who brought the bigger attention to this to the people, but the media, which is maybe not the highest level, maybe scandalist, maybe issuing panics not in time, etc. But the competition between the media outlets brought us very important knowledge what could happen in Georgia. So, and the government became alarmed with this, not because they truly understood what was happening, but they understood that they would be losing the votes very quickly if not paying enough attention to this. On the other hand, we can see that the healthcare institutions, which are mostly private in Georgia and mostly based on the competition, they did a lot of things, and we can say that
Things like what?
that I can tell you one thing that despite of that almost two months, we are having this first infected person here. So far we have only 200 something infected, and only three, God bless, only three deaths. But if you ask me, this is exaggerated. We could have much more if we tested much more people than we tested. And I think that the government made some problems and mistakes in this, that they started thinking about tests very late, even though many people, including me, were.
Sorry to interrupt you. So what did the private hospitals or the private healthcare institutions do? Did they inform the people? Did they tell them how to sanitize, how to use
Yes.
masks, or
Private hospitals, they cooperate very well with the free media in issuing some videos, some special pictures to show what is important, what is good, what is not good, etc. Also, there are many Georgian doctors of medicine living in Austria, Germany, Italy, Spain, everywhere, US. Some of them are included in the Johns Hopkins University research also. And we are getting almost every 5 minutes some good ideas from those guys who are really on the front line everywhere in their countries. And nonetheless, that our Georgian physicians who are busy in this and the private hospitals who are everywhere around us, they had a kind of good competition to each other to show what they are doing.
How long, Gia, has containment lasted now?
Pardon?
How long have you been asked to stay at home and not to?
So it's already 1 month that the government issued these quarantine rules, and also 2 weeks ago they issued another decree which is prohibiting to go out at all from 9 o'clock in the evening to 6 o'clock in the morning, which is creating some problems, but still this was good for some people who would be happy to go to their relatives and friends in the evening to have some good evening, some good wine with them.
Nightclubs. What kind of shops are open? Just the grocery shops and the pharmacies and the
Yes,
banks?
grocery shops and pharmacies never closed down, although many chains of these shops, they stopped working during the nights because it was most comfortable to go to the shops in the night. I did this several times, 3 o'clock in the night, because there was nobody there and you could walk there and do your business very easy. But now everything is closed at 8 o'clock because they need to go home.
So,
But not only the shops are working, but many factories also work here, and including some of the construction businesses which already passed some instructions, etc. And then some government offices are coming to check if your facilities are ready for that. Also, the car maintenance or the fuel supply, such kind of things never stop to operate.
they had to stop or they are open?
No, they open and
So the
only during the night they cannot work.
Yeah. So what about the economic consequences of this shutdown or mild shutdown? How many unemployment or has the number of unemployed people risen? Do you expect bankruptcies, insolvencies? What do you see?
Yeah, I think that most of the self-employed people will be kind of bankrupt because they cannot operate in these kind of things. And we have many self-employed people.
Are there any guarantees provided by the state or any support provided by the government as is done in many Western European countries?
Yeah, there are some talks about this, but we don't have exact picture what government is going to do. On the other hand, I personally and our institution was promoting different ideas. First of all, to squeeze the budget and decrease the budgetary spending, and
Yep.
also to cut further the tax rates in Georgia. We have quite low tax rates in Georgia, but we think that if we leave more money to entrepreneurs now, this is the best solution for them to continue working because they have so many obligations now to the government, to other creditors, and they need to do something. And if government is not making some easy their businesses, I mean, also we are pushing the deregulation for the deregulation measures for to Georgian economy. And we believe very strongly that the most important in this crisis is decentralized and based on the private sector solutions could be most important, especially now. Many people can think the opposite, that now we need a huge government to do something, but huge government cannot innovate. They cannot change the situation that quickly than the private sector can offer. That's what we think, because
You're busier than ever, actually, right?
of course,
To tell
we
everybody.
need private initiatives now more than ever. I think more than ever, because the private initiatives based on the profits. I underline this, based on the profits, because if there is a profit, there will be the kind of very huge competition who will be offering best solutions. But if you do this the main way, like socialist way, then there will be no competition and no good offers, at least in time.
So has the government understood the proposals and the incentives that you provide, or are they very skeptical and they want to stick to their old ways?
In fact, we don't see anything positive coming from the government. What they are concentrated mostly is how to please the global donors like Asian Bank, European
Yeah.
Bank, World Bank, and others to stand in a row of the other countries and compete with other countries maybe for the resources those institutions have. This is, I think, very big mistake because all these the big donors, they will be asking you also favors and asking you some special requirements for getting those monies. And I think this is the big mistake. The best solution is again to give the chances to the private entrepreneurs and private sector to move forward and also to innovate now to deal with this problem.
Let me come back to the thing that you mentioned at the very beginning. Luckily, you only had a couple of 200, probably 200 people who are infected or who were tested positive with the coronavirus. But you have been in containment now or in quarantine for over a month now. So you assume that the numbers actually would be much higher if more tests had been undertaken?
Yeah, I think that if we tested more people, we would have much more people infected. It does not mean that they will be kind of in bad, very bad conditions. They can be, as I read many things, they can be maybe 20% only in bad situation, but the others could be normal situation. But what I think that the tests are very important, not only for healthcare, but also for the businesses, because if I have, for instance, 100 people in my business, if I test my employees every day, not everybody, but seldom, randomly, and invite half of them to work every day, then my business can survive. And the customers also, if they know that I'm testing my employees every day, they will trust and come to me. But if I don't do that, then how can they trust me? They can feel some kind of fear that, because it's not a shop. Shop is necessary. You cannot survive without food or such kind of things. But if you want to continue working, then you need this. But also for the entire situation of health situation with coronavirus, I think
self-responsibility at its best.
Yeah, tests are also providing you good chance to track the disease and the infected people also, and find them very quickly, and to follow the tracks and then to clean the situation very quickly. That's what was happening in Taiwan and Korea, and successful stories.
Yeah. What about an exit strategy? Does the government already provide exit strategies, and when you will come back to normal, or are there no announcements by the governments?
So government is sometimes talking something, but we don't see any steps, bad or good steps, but we don't see them. Sometimes we feel that they are so inefficient that they cannot even make decisions. But also, I think that what they already promised is that they will be issuing about 2 billion laris. This is 600 million euros to help the business. But we don't see what will be covered with the 600 million euros. But also on the side, they were talking about supporting the credit lines in Georgia. That means that if I get the credit and I fail, the government will be covering this. But I think that this is a big mistake, because there will be lots of people who will be doing this and doing this wrongly also. And the best solution for that, I'm thinking that what government wants, they think that there will be no enough finances. Okay, if you think that there is no enough finance, then reduce the taxes, reduce the the government spending, there will be money for remaining in the accounts of these businesses.
So, Gia, when we talk about this, will this, if we look at the economic forecast, I mean, I know it's difficult to make a forecast right now, and we cannot predict the future, but still, will it be a V shape, or will it be a U shape, or an L shape? What do you think? What will be, when will recovery kick in again?
I don't know truly what to answer, because most of our economy is not really based on the industries or the agriculture or something. You can imagine that the 20% of, sometimes 20, sometimes 15% of our GDP is remittances. So we are so much dependent on the Georgians who live abroad, in Austria including, who are sending lots of money to their relatives and friends. But also, if we are looking what is happening in Georgia, this is mostly services what are developed already here, like insurance or banks or any other services. But so not say that this can really save anybody in future.
But
But also
digitalization
our,
of the country will definitely still be on the focus.
yes, of course, of course. I think that there will be no chance. Like Margaret Thatcher was saying, that the socialist ideas are ending when there is no more money. So when there will be no money, then there will be no more mistakes, I think. And
Well,
yes.
talking about difficult times and mistakes and lack of money, are there any sentiments towards other countries? You mentioned China at the beginning, but what about the US or Europe? How do Georgians feel about the European Union right now in this crisis?
I don't know. I'm not using Facebook to know many opinions about this, but and Twitter is not really popular here. But as far as I hear from some intellectuals, they think that we were more successful than Europeans. But there is no real good analysis why we were more successful than Europeans. And there will be maybe the peak of the infected number of infected in 2 weeks, and we can evaluate the situation again. But this was also a mistake to think that Italian or American or some other nations physicians, the doctors, medical doctors were worse than Georgians. This is a big mistake. And we think that most important now for that reason is to really clear out what is the real number of the infected in Georgia. And we can think
Okay.
if we are successful or
Hey, I
not.
think this was wise, and I think we will talk soon again. And I only can say stay safe, stay healthy, give my best to all our friends at the new Economic School of Georgia. And we're looking forward to seeing you at the Free Market Roadshow next
Yeah,
time.
absolutely, absolutely. Thank
Okay,
you.
bye-bye, and stay tuned. Next events are coming up, not
Bye,
only
Barbara.
but
Say,
next.
say hello to everybody in your office, please.
Thank you, Gia.
Thank you.